my best friend and partner for my entire adult life
Yes.
committed suicide.
All right. Because?
She spiraled out of control.
Because?
I think that's part of what I'm asking for your...
Because she was never given the tools to understand how self-empowered she was. Do you understand?
I tried to bridge that gap with her, and we made some friends who seemed to be synchronistically drawn to us at the time when we would need that kind of support.
But it wasn't enough.
It did not.
Understand that when people are not raised understanding the tools, they also may not have the tool to understand the tools. In other words, they simply have created a reality where they make it incapable of learning the tools. That can be one of the things that they've learned.
Right.
Is you can't learn anything else.
Yeah, that was, she was pretty stuck.
All right. But you understand now she's not. She is a free spirit. And understands now the dynamics that happened in the life, and understands how to add that knowledge to her spiritual growth. Yes? You understand that she's okay now.
I struggle with that.
Why? What are your beliefs about the idea of transitioning into spirit?
So people have told me different things. I've heard that
such as
people who commit suicide are stuck in a karmic loop where they have to resolve the thing that they refuse to acknowledge.
Excuse me, you can't hear it, but I'm laughing. That is an idea that someone can choose to experience, but it's not an automatic thing. It's only based on whatever the strongest beliefs are of the person who made the transition. Now, let's give the most extreme scenario in, let's just say, religious terms, because that's something relatively familiar to most of you.
Right.
Many people feel that, all right, I've been a bad person, and when I die, I'm going to go to hell.
Sure.
Understand that in spirit, physical materiality, while it sort of can still be experienced in some way, is not really physical in the way you understand physicality. And time and space are much more flexible than what you experience in your physical life.
Sure.
So even if someone crossed over and found themselves standing in the fires of hell, the instant they went, oh, I really don't prefer this at all, they would be out of it. Because there's no time lag in spirit. And that instant transition to something different would be the first lesson in understanding that it's their choice to create their reality as they see fit. So while your friend may have, at first, experienced a little bit of a jolt of whatever the belief systems were that made it seem to be the logical choice to take her life, the instant she realized that that was not necessarily something she preferred, she'll experience something completely different. And most everyone will go through what you classically call life review. There's no judgment on it. You just automatically understand all the things and all the choices and all the consequences of the choices, and you, in a sense, sort of re-experience them, but from a different point of view, a little bit more of a detached point of view. It's kind of like sort of being given a refresher lesson about what happened and what you chose and what you did with it. But there's no judgment on it. You will understand, all right, well, you know, I made some choices that weren't necessarily to my benefit in the way that they could have been, but I can still learn from that. And I can still grow from that. And therefore, it's okay. And when people get into spirit, one of the first things they experience is they really don't want any of you to worry that they're not okay. Because they are okay. They really are. You follow?
I follow that she's okay. I don't feel okay.
Well, I know. But that's only because of your definitions of what's going on. So the idea is to remove the limitations from your own definition so that you understand that sometimes the timing of one person who you are very close to going into spirit before you, no matter what the methodology they may have chosen, is an opportunity for you to stretch yourself to reconnect to them. So in other words, going into spirit is an invitation to you from her to reach for her. And that starts putting your attention more in the direction of the spiritual concepts that will actually assist you in life.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I'm here right now as well.
Yes. So by allowing yourself to know that she is still in existence, closer than you think, many of you are really only separated from the spirit realm by just about this much frequency. And in fact, it's actually closer than that. Let me inform you of something. This is how it works. Understand that in a sense, I'm just going to use these terms to make it an easy illustration. In a sense, spirit is your natural state. Physical reality is just a projection of consciousness. You never actually leave spirit to become physical. Your spirit doesn't leave the spirit realm and go into a physical body.
Right.
You are still in spirit right now with her. You've never left. Neither of you ever left spirit. You are just still dreaming that you've left. She's woken up from that dream. But you're both there. So she is interacting with you on a whole other level of yourself that is already in spirit. The more you raise your frequency to become more your version of the you that is always in spirit, the more sensitive your physical senses will be to being capable of communicating with her in spirit, because you are already there with her and have never left. So you will start being able to see through the dream of physical reality, which is one of the reasons she left before you did. Because you had an agreement that she would help you learn how to be more of yourself. And this is one of the ways in which she's helping you do that, by reminding you through us that you are both in spirit right now, and that you're only dreaming that you're not, and only dreaming that you're separated, which you're not.
Yeah, I have the intuition of that being true, and I feel that urge to reach to her.
Then do so and see what synchronicity brings you that will hone your senses so that in time you will actually know that you are communicating, and you will not feel that there is really any kind of a disconnect.
Did I attract this circumstance to myself?
You both agreed to it. You both agreed that this is how it would work, that this is what you would need at this point in your life to elevate you to another level. We understand that from the physical human perspective, it can at first feel painful and that you can miss the person. We understand the concept of your grief, and we're not invalidating it at all. We're simply saying you can take that energy and understand that it is the energy you're feeling of them. Many times when you grieve, when you miss them, when you cry at what you perceive to be their absence, the paradox is the reason you're feeling that is because they're actually with you. Do you understand? Many times when you remember them and you suddenly find yourself crying, that's actually your reaction to the fact that they're with you. Because you're interpreting the fact that they're with you as they're not being with you. And that's why it goes into grief, instead of actually feeling their energy and going, oh, you're here. Do you understand? They are actually present with you when you're grieving.
Right.
That's what you're feeling, and that's why you grieve. You grieve because you sense their presence, except you're sensing it through a negative filter, a negative definition that they're not with you.
Yeah. It I have a strong belief in life extension and quality of life extension. So I imagined us living together for hundreds of years.
You will live together forever. Just not always in the same plane of existence at the same time. But that doesn't mean you can't be in touch.